Actually, this is a program I've wanted to do for a long, long time. This is our second season. I did it last year, and there was tremendous response. You see, my work does not deal with using props like maybe a magician in the true sense of the word, or maybe a pianist. I have the most unpredictable functioning of all, and that is working with the human equation. People react differently. And I want to know what's on the minds, not only of my subjects, but my audience, you people out in the television viewing audience. I can have two ways of doing this. One, by reading your mail, and secondly, by turning tonight's program in part into a press conference, and with members of some of the colleges here in the area, and also our family audience sitting here. I think we're going to have a very fascinating experience. For me, it's the answer to a dream each year that I want to fulfill. Now, I'm associated with suggestion. I don't do hypnosis. I don't believe there is a trance. Thank you, my friend. I got something wild to show you, because I haven't hypnotized people before the program. I did some tests. And everybody's sitting out here kind of relaxed. Now, I didn't want you to think I was going to forget this part of the audience. You take that if you want to for the time being. Bill, my friend. But I said to my audience as I was sitting out there, watch very carefully. Some of you are going to be in for an amazing surprise. Were you one of the people that I promised that to? Am I correct? Just nice to see you here. You're wide awake, but what's happening?
You're killing me.
No, don't say anything like that. You can't move, can you?
No, I can't.
You're wide awake.
Yes, I am.
You're not playing a game. You can't move your neck, can you?
No, I can't.
Well, I'll come back to you later on in the program. How are you? Isn't that wild? Isn't that something? What's happening, miss?
I'm going numb.
You're going numb. You're not doing this deliberately, but it's an interesting phenomena. My gosh, I may pull him out of position, but it's one of those things as it happens. It just seems to take place almost spontaneously. How are you, my friend? Wow, it's interesting. There's someone there to catch you if there's any problems. Isn't that wild? And a broken arm along with the same thing. My gosh, what's your name?
Raymond.
It's what?
Raymond.
Raymond, that's wild, Raymond. You're wide awake, aren't you?
Yes.
What's happening?
I feel numb.
You try to move your legs. You can't move your legs. My gosh, that's a wild situation. Isn't that a wild thing, folks? What are your names, my friends?
Butch.
What's your name? What?
Butch.
What's your name?
Mark.
Your name?
Dave.
Now, don't worry what you just saw. These people are behind you, but it's an interesting phenomena. I just have to tell you to sit up straight, if you will. There's someone behind you if there's a problem. Isn't that wild? What's the matter, my friend?
It feels like Jello.
You feel like Jello?
Jello, yeah. No.
Isn't that wild? Try. You try to get up. Try, my friend. I don't know where our time is going, but it's fun. What's your name?
Dave.
Do you ever say anything? Don't worry, there's a gal behind you to catch you if anything happens, Dave, but I'm just saying it's one of those things. Well, I'll be done. Dave, what's the matter?
I'm pretty weak.
You're pretty weak. Try to get up. What's the matter? What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, it's nice to see you in a new position in life. You can't move, can you?
No, I can't.
Isn't that wild? Well, I want to tell you, it's one of the evenings that I can't speak. What are you? You're ready to take notes as we're interviewed. I'm interviewed, right?
Right.
What's your name?
Chris.
And your name?
Kathy.
Kathy, this is Chris right here, my friend. It's an interesting situation, Chris. I think some are responding much more strongly than others. Now, don't catch her. Would you catch her behind you, please? What's the matter? No, it wore off in her case, but in the case of these people here, they cannot move. It's almost a situation of paralysis. Were you one of the people I thought I'd work with? What's your name?
Andy.
Andy, I've never met you before. We didn't meet before tonight, did we?
No.
And yet you're a nice person to work with, Andy. It's one of those things. Isn't that something? My gosh, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you here. It's just an amazing situation. Try to resist. You can't, can you?
No.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that
No.
wild? Andy, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Andy, when did you first notice this condition? Isn't that wild? Well, my friends, a tremendous amount of time has gone by. If you look, I'm going to have to release some of these people. And as we're going off the air for a few seconds of a break before the press conference begins, this fella here has gone out of this world. Let me show you that we can begin to release people. You haven't been able to move since this time, have you?
No, I haven't.
And wild? How's it feel? My gosh, I never had anyone criticize my program in that way. Interesting?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back. We'll be back, folks, in just a few seconds. Stay tuned. Thank you. Well, I have to tell you folks something. I've been releasing some. I left some in the same position, and their descriptions are fascinating. They couldn't maintain this without a response to an idea that's uncontrollable. How does it seem like?
Sort of like Jello, you know?
Well, I've got to show you. I left you like this, and I'm going to release you very, very quickly. I know he's inside there. How you doing in there, my friend?
Still embarrassed.
No. You're not really embarrassed, are you? Let me release you. No, I've never embarrassed anyone. You can lift your head up now. Isn't that wild?
Oh, yeah.
Wild. Let's hope next time you go the other way. Fascinating. By the way, because this is a very informal atmosphere, and really, it's the most exciting atmosphere for me. There's been people you've been seeing on my program week after week for a couple of years, and they are our usherettes. They're the 4 or 5 girls who make it very difficult for me to concentrate because they're so pretty. Would you come on here, girls? I've asked them to stay. Give them a hand. Come on, all of you. Quickly. Come on over here. Tremendous. How wild? Stay here. Stay right here. How you doing? What's your name?
Maggie.
Your name?
Yvonne.
Yvonne, nice to see you, Yvonne. I get to do this I don't only get to do this on the air. They avoid, no. Nice to see you. You're so pretty. And you are, what is your name?
Wendy.
Wendy?
Cynthia.
Cynthia?
Lynn.
Lynn?
Yvonne.
Who's going to college? Some of you are. Where are you going?
University of Toronto.
And what are you majoring in?
Psychology.
She picked the right program to work on, the study of a kook, I should say. Any of the rest of you going to school, studying in any way? Well, you're going to be out amongst our audience if we need you with microphones, and thanks so much, gals. Really nice to have you here. Take care now. Over here, we'll go over this way, and thank you very, very much. Nice to have you. Bye, my friends. You know, I don't even know if I'm supposed to use a hand mic or not, but I made some notes here, only because I've looked at mail. I've looked at a lot of mail in the past few years. We've averaged sometimes a few thousand pieces as the show's gone on. So I'd like to take some questions from you in the audience. And if you have a question, just raise your hand, let me know where you are, and one of the gals will come to you. I don't know if the boom is working, or should I use the microphone? The hand mic or the boom? Hand mic is fine. We had a hand going up where? The gentleman right over here. And our usher, raise your hand and stand if you will, sir. May I ask you this now? What is your name?
Dave McMillan.
Dave, and what's your question, Dave?
Do you believe in the supernatural?
Do I believe in the supernatural? Well, of course, the show is not designed to foster belief in supernatural phenomena. I would say only in this way. I think the supernatural is the natural, not yet understood. That's a good question. Anyone? How about any of the rest of the audience back here? Do we have a question or two? Raise your hands. Yes. Announce your question out loud. We have a boom overhead.
My question has to do with psychokinesis.
What is your name?
And Bonnie.
And psychokinesis being the control of an object by mental concentration.
Right, and I was wondering, how do you account for such great success in a television studio when the success in the laboratories haven't been quite that high?
Well, because as an entertainer, Bonnie, I cannot say that everything I do is pure mental. I use a great deal of showmanship. I use a great deal of the power of suggestion. So I have to learn using these techniques to capitalize on people's ability to concentrate. And I have developed techniques whereby I can narrow people's attention and concentration. But I don't say that what I do is psychokinesis. I can't control very much that's beyond my head or cranium, except my hands, fingertips, and toes. It's a matter of conditioning people and making them ready to accept an idea. It's a good question. Another one here, very quickly, please. All the way up there, the person with the glasses right there in the red sweater. Would you stand? What's your name?
Estelle.
What is it?
Estelle.
Where are you going to school?
Maryville.
And what year are you in?
My second.
Second year. Majoring in what?
Oh, well, I'm not really majoring in
That's
anything.
good. I advise a lot of college students, the best thing to do in the beginning is to sample everything. You don't have to know your way in life too early. Experience is more profitable in many ways if it's diversified.
I'm not going to college. I'm going to high school.
All right, that's all right. What's your question?
What makes the field of occult so interesting to everybody? Why does everybody want to get so involved in it?
Yeah, that's why are the people so interested in the occult? They always have been. In the time of Edgar Allan Poe, of course, it wasn't called so much the occult. The word occult means hidden. In other words, it means not yet understood. And I think we've always had a fascination of the unknown because there's too many things around us that we don't understand. And as we do not understand it, we begin to form fables around it, we begin to form myths around it, and we begin to form systems of ideology. Spiritism became popular in the last century because people didn't understand things like table tilting, or even things like ESP. And yet, 20, 30 years later, people weren't interested in spiritism. They started believing in UFOs. That seemed to be another solution to the unexplained. And I think there'll always be an interest in what we call the occult. Another question? How about anyone down here? Just raise your hand. Who has one in the back here has a question? There's a gal over there whose hand came up. What's your name, miss?
Chris.
Chris? What's your question, Chris?
I'd like to ask you about faith healing.
Faith healing.
I have sort of a
double-barreled question.
I'm good. She's got a double-barreled question, my friends. What is it, Chris?
First of all, have you ever helped anyone or led them to health by faith?
Wow. And what's the rest of the question? Maybe I can
The rest of the question is the body being healed by spirits other than their own or by their own mind?
That is a dramatic question, and no, I do not heal people because I'm not a doctor. My background's in psychology, and I used to work with a psychologist, in fact, for 8 years, Dr. Harold Hansen in New Jersey. But I can remember one of the most dramatic incidents of my life. A group of people were sitting on stage, and I said to all of them, as you close your eyes, your right hand will rise into the air, and everybody's hands started raising up. And I heard gasping in the audience. One lovely gal in her 30s had just raised her hand for the first time in 23 years. Her mind became so preoccupied with mine that was not a physical problem, it was a functional one, a mental problem, a paralysis caused by some emotional problem, was overcome temporarily. We sent her to a psychologist, and they made it a more permanent cure. I didn't cure the person. Faith healing, it's hard to say. I believe that there are faith healers, but I think the power is within all of us, and the good Lord has simply placed it there. Some people can bring it out better than others. So in that sense of the word, yes, I have faith, and there seems to have been some very dramatic healings. We'll be back in just a very few seconds, folks. Thank you. I'm really enjoying the show. I wish we had more time. It's an amazing thing. In the industry, in the television industry, I'm being asked quite a bit, who writes my program? And I think at long last I've got to answer it. No one does. This is my work, and I've been in it now for 27 years, since before my teens. And a lot of the things I do on my program I've wanted to do for a long, long time. Someone also said, what are some of the highlights of the year, this past year? Well, releasing a man from a safe, I don't know how many of you saw that, when he was the only one who knew the combination and was locked inside. Reading someone's thoughts as they were in an airplane over the city, a helicopter, is obviously something I can't easily forget. And then someone asked me about healing. I get a lot of letters, and I must say this in all earnestness, asking for help. I'm not in a position to help people. I always refer them to ministers or physicians or psychologists. And finally, a lot of letters, the majority of letters asking for help are regarding lost items. I can help a person find an item if they forgot where they put it. But if they don't know and never knew where they put it, there isn't too much I can do. And there's a couple of other questions. The time has gone by so fast. Yes, sir. Gentlemen, would you stand, please, sir? What is your name, sir?
My name is Ferguson.
What is your question, sir?
I wanted to ask you if you can communicate with someone whose language you do not understand.
Oh, that is something. That's going to have to be in a future program. Only if the person thinks in terms of pictures. I worked in Italy this past summer, in Spain 2 summers ago, and I worked with English-speaking people. But if they don't speak the language I understand, and I understand a little bit of English and not too much else of any other language, they have to picture it. We'll try that sometime. Another question? Yes, sir.
I'd like to know your opinion of...
Yes.
I'd like to know your opinion of reincarnation.
Reincarnation? I'm going to just say it kind of quickly in a joking way because we have discussed it. Reincarnation for me is like perfume. I like to savor it, but I just can't swallow it. But I do believe that many people believe in it, and I respect it. We just haven't had evidence. A lot of it can be explained by ESP. Another question back here. So, yes, sir.
Name is Stanley.
Stanley,
I'd like
yes,
to know
sir.
if anyone has ever challenged you in an effort to win the $20,000.
Regarding the use of Confederates and stooges, no, because once they started looking into it, they realized it was such an empty challenge. I wouldn't, if I had to, I'd rather go on the air and fail than have to have a professional stooge or Confederate. So the truth of the matter is, Stanley, it's not worth the chance, and I have never used such thing. You know, I'm looking at these people here, and time has gone by, but it doesn't really matter. Phil, gosh, how do you feel right now?
I feel fine.
And you want to stand up to prove you have a perfect, stand right up to prove you have perfect energy there? You have perfect energy. What's your name?
Mark Hillaby.
Mark, it's an amazing phenomenon, Mark. It's an amazing phenomenon. How do you feel, my friend?
Oh, not
You
again.
can't lift your, this is all not again. You can't lift your head, can you? No. My gosh, well, it's one of those things that happen. If I can walk in front of our camera, our continent here, all these subjects along the way here, you were the one people I shook hands with before, weren't you? You sat here kind of limp for a long, long period of time, and there was someone way inside here. Who was that person? Over there, my friend. Let me just take your hand. I'm going to leave you folks like this as I go back on with my presentation and demonstration. Might as well leave you people, your friends, back in the same situation, huh?
I noticed.
You noticed. What's your name?
Butch.
Which what?
Butch.
Nice to meet you, Butch. Really nice to meet you. Just one of those situations from time to time. Now, I might point out that we're going to do a test, an experiment, in which I need about 10 people. I'd like it to be 10 people I have not worked with before, and as we go to our break, we'll be back in a very few seconds. Let's start having some people come forward who I have not done any of these tests with. How about the fellow right here in the glasses? Would you stand, please, sir? Someone in the aisle there in the green sweater, come on up here. And we'll be back in a very few seconds. I don't want to prearrange anything. The fellow right here in the blue, come forward, my friend. Gentleman right here has been writing a life story on me, I can see. Put your pad down and come forward. And I guess our seconds have gone by, so I'll take a couple. How about the gentleman right over there, please? You rather not, or you stand? Come on. If anybody thinks that something is prearranged or people are asked to play along, this isn't the case. In fact, in this last test, none of the group here have any indication. I picked 10 people from the audience, and you really don't, no one's told you what the test is going to be. Am I correct?
No, they haven't.
No way. None? None whatsoever?
Not at all.
None. And the whole's true with our friends over here anyway.
Don't have a clue.
I haven't prearranged anything. Now, why? Inside this billfold is a message and idea. I'm going to leave my hands free. Is it Chris? Come over here, Chris, if you will. I am not going to show anyone what it is, but it's a letter next to my, I guess it's next to my AFTRA membership. So, Chris, we'll leave this here for the time being. Would you kind of just stand back here? And I'm going to leave the wallet there. This is not a prediction, because I am incapable of foretelling the future. But I shook people's hands, and people responded almost spontaneously without any trance, any hypnotism. We have 10 people here. We're going to have a tug of war. The only problem is I don't know the teams. These people don't know because the teams have not been established. I have here white blocks, and I have here black blocks. There are 5 white, there are 5 blacks. Consequently, the team and the strength of the team is going to be chosen by pure chance. So you just reach in without looking and take out any block. Take it out, and once you have it, you can show it, but don't look in to decide. Instead, I want you to reach in and pull out a block by pure chance. You're hiding things kind of secretive over there, my friend. Would you reach in? I'm afraid the way he reached in, he could see through his hand. But he doesn't have the ability that one of the gals in... we have 2 more left, because I guess we were going to use, and they are both white ones. We had decided earlier on 10 people, but the mental flash did not get across. So someone who has a black one, just raise their hand and show me. Any one of you, I don't care, you can just exchange it. Now it's unfortunate this took place, but it was to be only 10 and we have 12. There's no trickery, it's just I wanted an even number. Maybe you can set that on the chair, please. Now those of you who have black cubes, would you raise your hand, please? Black cubes. I'm going to ask, are there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6. You have one. You have a white one. Sure. Watch, I'll change it so it gets black again. Oh, no, I'm kidding. The white ones come. The black ones come over here. Those with black, and the whites come to my left, please. Just change places. I'd like the blacks to the whites to be by the left, my blacks to the right. Now just show that each of you have a black cube. The 5 of you here. You can, if you will, just drop them behind you and drop them to the floor because it doesn't matter. Now we have here a rope. We're establishing this like a simple tug of war, except, my friends, now that I know where they're standing, I know the team that I must cause to win, the team I must cause to lose. And don't you try to help me, you try to win. Would you pick up the cords? There's a black mark there to start. Each of you take it, the rope, please, and it should go only to a certain point, so you may have to come closer. Much closer so that you are. We've got the line here. Obviously, the winning of this, with the white line or the contrasting line, is the first person on a team that's pulled over, either from the, this is what color team? The black team, this is the white team. All right, give me a moment, folks. I ask all of you, please, the 10 of you, to close your eyes. They don't know which team I'm concentrating on. And yet, one team must lose, and the strength of the other must be such that they unmistakably win. All right. Open your eyes. I've told them nothing. Now, if you will all face each other in the general tradition of a tug of war, get a good grip. I want you to be determined to win. If you want to cheer any team, it's up to you folks. Now pull, because that tug of war is starting. And pull, my friends, to win. Pull to win. I think there's no question that one team... There's no question. Pull to win. Pull to... No, well, he went over. It went over, which means what? This team did go over, which means what? Which is the team that went over, folks? I think there's no question that this team did go over. And the team here is what color? White. It is the white team. There was nothing said before this in any way, shape, or form, but he went over 4 times. So I think don't misunderstand me, my friend. There was nothing personal about that. I'm going to ask you, if we can do this on camera, would you just take this out, please? Take out the message. And if you will, obviously at this moment the white team won. Would you open that, please, and read what it says out loud, please?
I shall attempt to cause the white squares team to win the tug of war.
The white squares team to win the tug of war. And obviously, that's exactly what has won, the white squares team. Thank you very, very much. It worked. It really worked. Hold on to that. We have a few seconds here. Where's our professor? Would he come down here, please? Would you come down very, very quickly, our professor? I thank all of you for coming here. Someone else, if the rest of you remain standing, said, well, what if someone else shakes the hand of a subject? Would they respond? Not necessarily. You asked me this?
Yeah.
Your name is what, sir?
Joe Scanlon.
Professor Scanlon, all I want you to do, now you don't know him because you're in high school, correct? Professor Scanlon, do me this and treat it seriously. Go up to him. Before you take his hand, just say this, I'm a student of Kreskin. Lift his hand up, and as soon as you say Kreskin, bring it down. Correct? Well, take one you don't know. I'd rather you don't know any one of them. But say the phrase first. What did you say? My God, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye, and be the good Lord willing. I'll see you next week.